The town of Blackridge slept under the weight of winter, its narrow streets hushed beneath a pristine layer of snow. A bitter wind whispered through the skeletal branches of the trees, and the cold seeped into the bones of anyone foolish enough to venture out. In the heart of this frozen solitude wandered Mark Reynolds, a man whose despair cast a darker shadow than the longest winter night. Mark's footsteps echoed in the empty streets as he trudged through the ankle-deep snow. The flickering streetlights offered feeble resistance against the encroaching darkness, and the town seemed to exhale a collective sigh of melancholy. As the holiday season approached, Blackridge should have been aglow with festive lights and the warmth of community. Instead, it lay in a state of quiet desolation that mirrored the despondency in Mark's heart. His breath formed ethereal clouds in the frigid air, his mind a storm of tumultuous thoughts. The town, once a haven, now felt like a cage, confining him with memories of a life unraveling. Mark's face, etched with weariness, bore the scars of disappointments that seemed insurmountable. As he walked, the snow crunched beneath his boots, each step echoing the weight of his burdens. Mark's gaze was fixed on the ground, unable to face the world that had become alien to him. The bitter wind carried the distant laughter of families celebrating, a cruel reminder of the joy that had slipped through his fingers. Lost in his thoughts, Mark found himself standing on the edge of Lake Haven, its frozen surface reflecting the pale glow of the moon. He stared into the abyss below, contemplating a plunge that would free him from the suffocating darkness within. The ice beneath him creaked as if groaning in anticipation. Just as Mark teetered on the brink of surrender, a disembodied whisper threaded through the air. Mark Reynolds, it hissed, carrying a name that felt like a condemnation. Mark's head snapped up, eyes wide with disbelief. The wind, once a silent companion, now seemed to carry a voice that belonged to no one and everyone. He turned in confusion, scanning the desolate surroundings. "Who's there?" Mark called out, his voice cracking with a mix of fear and desperation. The wind answered with a chilling breeze, carrying with it a message that crawled beneath his skin. "Repent, Mark Reynolds," it urged, the words mingling with the haunting melody of the night. Mark's heart pounded in his chest as he stumbled backward, the weight of the unseen words pressing against him. Panic clawed at his throat, and he cast frantic glances around, searching for the source of the ethereal voice. From the shadows emerged a figure, its silhouette distorted by the play of moonlight on the snow. A man cloaked in darkness, with eyes that seemed to reflect the starlight like shards of shattered glass. "Repent, for the shadows know your sins," the figure intoned, its voice a sepulchral echo that resonated within Mark's very soul. Mark recoiled, his breath catching in his throat. "Who are you? What do you want from me?" he demanded, his words trembling in the icy air. The shadowed figure remained silent for a moment before speaking with a cadence that sent shivers down Mark's spine. "The shadows bear witness to your despair, Mark Reynolds. But despair is not the end. Redemption awaits those who dare to face the shadows within." A bitter wind swept through the desolate landscape, carrying with it a promise of something beyond Mark's comprehension. The shadows, once dormant, seemed to stir with a life of their own as Mark stood on the precipice, caught between the oppressive weight of his past and the enigmatic whispers of an uncertain future. The night in Blackridge deepened, and Mark Reynolds, still reeling from the cryptic encounter by Lake Haven, stumbled through the snow-laden streets. The ominous figure that had emerged from the shadows lingered in his thoughts, a phantom presence haunting the corners of his mind. He sought solace, but the town seemed to conspire against him, amplifying the isolation that gripped his soul. Mark found himself drawn to a desolate park, where skeletal trees stood sentinel over a landscape cloaked in white. The wind, now a spectral accomplice, rustled through the barren branches, carrying with it an otherworldly murmur. Mark's breath materialized in the frigid air as he walked, and each step echoed in the stillness, a morose percussion to his internal turmoil. The park bench, frozen under a thin layer of snow, invited Mark to sit and confront the shadows that clung to him. As he sat, a chill settled in his bones, and he cast furtive glances at the dancing shadows, half expecting the enigmatic figure to reappear. The moon cast an eerie glow, casting long, distorted shadows that seemed to weave a tapestry of foreboding. In the midst of the eerie quiet, the wind whispered once more, a spectral voice that seemed to carry secrets from realms beyond. Mark Reynolds. It sighed, the words an ethereal caress that played with the strands of his sanity. Mark shivered, his eyes darting around as he strained to discern the source of the haunting words. A figure materialized from the swirling shadows, not the same ominous presence from before, but an apparition seemingly born from the winter wind itself. A woman, her form shifting between solidity and translucence, stepped into the moonlight. Her eyes held a cosmic depth, as if reflecting the vast expanse of the universe. Mark Reynolds, she repeated, her voice a haunting melody that resonated with the melancholy of the night. In the cold embrace of despair, a whisper calls your name. But listen not to the echoes of your past. Heed the winds of change, for redemption dances in the breath of the unseen. Mark stared at the spectral woman, his fear giving way to a strange curiosity. What do you want from me? Are you a ghost? An angel? The woman's gaze bore into him with a weight that transcended the physical. I am but a whisper in the wind, a fleeting echo of the choices that carve the tapestry of fate. Your path is entwined with the threads of the unseen, Mark Reynolds. As the wind carried her words, Mark felt a strange compulsion to trust the enigmatic presence. What unseen path? What do you mean? The spectral woman's form wavered like an apparition caught between realms. Your choices echo through the corridors of time, shaping the destiny of worlds unseen. The shadows watch, and in their dance, the echoes of your redemption reverberate. But beware, for the shadows can be fickle guides. Mark, caught between skepticism and a desperate need for meaning, questioned further. Redemption. How can I find it? Show me the way. The woman's eyes glinted with a cosmic wisdom, a glimpse of the unfathomable. To find redemption, you must confront the shadows within. Face the sins that cast long shadows upon your soul, and the winds of change shall guide you. The path is treacherous, Mark Reynolds, but within the tempest, the seeds of salvation are sown. As the spectral woman faded into the night, Mark was left alone with the whispers in the wind. The park, once a realm of solitude, became an otherworldly stage for the unfolding drama of his redemption, a drama that promised to delve deeper into the mysteries of the shadows that clung to his every step. Blackridge slept in the hush of winter, its streets winding through a silent tapestry of snow-laden buildings. Mark Reynolds, still haunted by the whispers in the wind, found himself drawn to the edge of town, where an old cemetery lay veiled in an ethereal glow beneath the moonlight. The air hung heavy with anticipation, as if the very atmosphere sensed the impending arrival of otherworldly entities. As Mark wandered among the tombstones, a spectral chill crept through the air, and the familiar wind whispered words of forewarning. Mark Reynolds, it murmured, carrying with it the weight of 100 unseen eyes. Mark's breath caught, and he turned to face the shadows that seemed to coalesce into 3 distinct forms. 3 figures emerged, each cloaked in a veil of mist, their features obscured by the ethereal shroud that enveloped them. The first figure, a towering silhouette, spoke with a voice that echoed through the frosty air. I am the ghost of Christmas future, it intoned, the words resonating like a distant bell tolling the fate of the world. Mark, his heart pounding, stammered, Christmas future? What do you want from me? The second figure, a more indistinct shape that flickered like a dying flame, answered in a voice that seemed to emanate from the void. We are the echoes of what is yet to come, Mark Reynolds. The future awaits your choices, for within them lies the power to reshape the tapestry of destiny. The third figure, a slender form that seemed to dance between the realms of reality and illusion, spoke with a melodic cadence. You stand at the crossroads, Mark Reynolds. The choices you make will determine whether the shadows that haunt you birth a world of redemption or one of eternal despair. Mark, bewildered, questioned. What do you mean? How can my choices shape the future? The ghost of Christmas future, its voice like an ancient whisper, responded, We will show you the consequences of your actions, the tendrils of cause and effect that weave through time like an unseen current. Brace yourself, for the visions we impart are not for the faint of heart. As the spectral mist enveloped Mark, he found himself transported to a dystopian world draped in shadows. The once thriving town of Blackridge lay in ruins, buildings reduced to skeletal structures, and the air choked with the acrid stench of decay. A desolate wind howled through the remnants of a forgotten civilization. The ghost of Christmas future, its form a flickering mirage, guided Mark through the harrowing scenes of a world ravaged by the consequences of humanity's unchecked greed and environmental degradation. Mark witnessed the suffering of those he loved, the haunting echoes of his own choices reverberating through the apocalyptic landscape. Amid the ruins, Mark's sister huddled with her children, their faces etched with despair. Why, Mark? Why did you let this happen? She cried, her voice carrying the weight of betrayal. A once lush forest, now reduced to charred remnants, whispered accusations. You had the power to change, to prevent this devastation, yet you chose the path of indifference. The visions unfolded like a macabre tableau, each scene a testament to the consequences of Mark's past actions. The ghost of Christmas future, its form shifting with the ghastly images, urged him to witness the world he had played a part in creating. Mark, his eyes wide with horror, fell to his knees. I didn't know. I didn't understand the consequences. The ghost of Christmas future spoke with an air of inevitability. Ignorance is no shield, Mark Reynolds. The shadows cast by your choices extend far beyond the boundaries of your understanding. Now you have a choice, to succumb to the darkness that beckons or to seize the chance for redemption. As the visions faded, Mark found himself back in the moonlit cemetery, the weight of the future pressing upon him. The ghosts of Christmas future lingered, their misty forms a silent reminder of the path that lay ahead. The choice, now stark and undeniable, loomed before Mark, a choice that held the power to either avert the impending doom or plunge the world into eternal night. The cemetery's stillness clung to the air as Mark Reynolds, reeling from the haunting revelations of the ghosts of Christmas future, stood at the precipice of a world unraveled. The ghosts, like spectral guardians, led him through the veil between the present and a dystopian future, a future born from the seeds of humanity's unchecked greed and environmental degradation. Mark's surroundings morphed into a nightmare-scape. Blackridge, once vibrant and alive, lay entombed in shadows. Skyscrapers, now skeletal remnants, clawed at the blood-red sky like desperate fingers reaching for salvation. The air, thick with an oppressive silence, carried the acrid scent of decay. As Mark stumbled through the ruined streets, the ghost of Christmas future, its ethereal form guiding him, spoke in a voice that reverberated with the echoes of a broken world. Behold the consequences of choices left unheeded, Mark Reynolds. The future you glimpse is a testament to the tendrils of darkness that emerge from the soil of indifference. Mark witnessed the suffering etched into the faces of those who had once called Blackridge home. Dilapidated homes stood as skeletal reminders of the life that once thrived within. The remnants of laughter, now silenced, lingered like ghosts in the abandoned streets. Approaching a makeshift encampment, Mark recognized the hollow eyes of his sister, once vibrant with life, now haunted by despair. Her voice, a mere whisper of its former self, cut through the desolation. You were supposed to protect us, Mark, but your choices have doomed us all. Tears welled in Mark's eyes as he struggled to comprehend the weight of his own actions. I didn't know it would come to this. I didn't see. The ghost of Christmas future, its form shifting with the winds of regret. Intombed, the path to ruin is often paved with the stones of ignorance. Your choices, though made in blindness, have shaped the world into a twisted reflection of what could have been. As Mark moved deeper into the dystopian tapestry, the once verdant parks now lay desolate, their greenery replaced by ashen landscapes. Rivers, once teeming with life, now flowed like streams of sorrow, poisoned by the fallout of unchecked industrialism. A group of survivors, their faces obscured by makeshift masks, huddled around a meager fire. Among them, a child clutched a tattered toy, eyes filled with a premature understanding of a world robbed of innocence. One survivor, a grizzled man, approached Mark with accusing eyes. Your choices echo louder than the sirens of warning, Reynolds. We paid the price for your blind pursuit of an unsustainable existence. Mark, overwhelmed by guilt, stammered, I never meant for any of this to happen. I didn't realize the consequences. The ghost of Christmas future, a wraith in the crimson-hued sky, spoke with a tone that cut through the apocalyptic winds. Consequences are the shadows that trail behind every choice, Mark Reynolds. The future is not set in stone, but the road to redemption is fraught with the thorns of accountability. As Mark traversed the desolation, he witnessed mutated creatures roaming the lifeless streets, a grotesque evolution born from the toxic remnants of a world forsaken. The ghost of Christmas future, its voice a haunting melody, guided Mark toward a shattered city center where the remnants of a once mighty society now stood as a monument to its own demise. Amid the ruins, Mark saw a spectral reflection of himself, an echo of the man he could become if he continued down the path of indifference. The ghostly visage spoke with a voice warped by regret. You have a chance to change, Mark. The shadows of the future are not immutable, but time is running out, and the echoes of your redemption must be heard. As the dystopian visions faded, Mark found himself back in the decaying cemetery, the ghost of Christmas future hovering like a specter of judgment. The weight of the world's possible fate pressed upon him, and the choice between surrendering to the shadows or embracing the arduous journey of redemption loomed larger than ever. The cemetery, cloaked in an unsettling stillness, cradled Mark Reynolds as he grappled with the haunting vision of a dystopian future painted by the ghosts of Christmas future. Shadows clung to him like phantom chains, and the weight of responsibility threatened to crush his spirit. The ghosts, their ethereal forms still lingering, watched as Mark stood at the crossroads of surrender and redemption. A spectral wind rustled through the tombstones, carrying with it a mournful wail. The ghost of Christmas future, a figure woven from the fabric of Mark's own fears, spoke with an air of inevitability. The future is a canvas shaped by choices, Mark Reynolds. Redemption beckons, but the path is fraught with the perils of self-discovery. Mark, his voice tinged with desperation, pleaded, Can I change it? Can I prevent this future from becoming a reality? The ghostly figure, its form flickering in the spectral moonlight, responded, Redemption is a flame that burns within, but its light is not easily kindled. Your choices, the very fabric of your being, must undergo a metamorphosis. The shadows you confront are but reflections of the self you must confront. In the midst of this metaphysical discourse, the shadows in the cemetery seemed to take on a life of their own, undulating like sentient entities that bore witness to the cosmic struggle within Mark's soul. The second ghost of Christmas future, a formless silhouette that danced on the fringes of Mark's perception, interjected with a cryptic message. The shadows are both guide and adversary. They hold the keys to redemption, yet they crave the sustenance of despair. Navigate the labyrinth within, Mark Reynolds, and choose the path that echoes with the resonance of your true self. Mark, his brow furrowed in both confusion and determination, questioned, How do I navigate this labyrinth? What must I do to change the course of the future? The third ghost of Christmas future, a figure that seemed to shimmer like a mirage, spoke with a melodic voice that resonated in Mark's core. The journey begins with self-reflection. Confront the sins that cast shadows upon your soul. Seek the threads of empathy and compassion entwined within the tapestry of your being. The choices you make in the realm of shadows will determine the destiny of worlds unseen. As the ghost's cryptic words settled over the cemetery, Mark took a tentative step forward, his mind a tempest of conflicting emotions. I'm willing to change, to confront my own darkness. But how can I be sure this isn't some twisted trick, a malevolent game played by forces beyond my understanding? The ghosts, their forms shifting like smoke in the breeze, responded in unison. The shadows bear witness to sincerity. Redemption is not a game. It is a crucible that tests the metal of the soul. The sincerity of your journey will determine the authenticity of your redemption. A dark whisper slithered through the air, carrying with it a sense of urgency. Time is a merciless companion, Mark Reynolds. The shadows, though patient, are not eternal. Choose your path wisely, for the destiny of worlds hangs in the balance. Mark, standing amidst the spectral dance of shadows, felt a newfound resolve coursing through him. I will change. I will confront my shadows and strive for redemption. But I need guidance. Show me the way. The ghosts, their forms merging into a collective ethereal presence, spoke with a resonance that echoed through the graveyard. The path of redemption is paved with self-discovery. Seek the echoes of empathy, the whispers of compassion, and the light that flickers within the deepest recesses of your being. The shadows will guide, but the choices are yours to make. With those words, the spectral wind intensified, swirling the shadows around Mark like a dance of cosmic forces. The ghosts of Christmas future, their forms dissipating into the night, left Mark standing alone in the cemetery, a man on a cusp of a transformative journey, where the shadows within him would become both adversary and ally in the pursuit of redemption. The night in Blackridge deepened, and Mark Reynolds, fueled by a newfound determination, set forth on a journey into the heart of his own darkness. The shadows clung to him like a spectral cloak as he navigated the labyrinthine passages of self-reflection, guided by the enigmatic whispers of the ghosts of Christmas future. As Mark delved into the recesses of his memories, he confronted the sins that had cast long shadows upon his soul. Each step was a struggle against the gravity of guilt, but the shadows, once ominous, now seemed to pulse with a strange vitality. The air itself crackled with an otherworldly energy, as if the very fabric of reality awaited Mark's decision. In a secluded room, lit only by the dim glow of a flickering candle, Mark confronted a manifestation of his past. The pivotal moment when he had chosen indifference over empathy. A spectral figure, the embodiment of his own callousness, materialized before him. "Why did you turn away?" The specter whispered, its voice a haunting echo of Mark's own. "In that moment, you chose to close your heart, and the shadows multiplied." Mark, his eyes locked with the phantom of his past, replied with a mixture of regret and determination. "I didn't realize the impact of my choices, but I'm here now to face them, to change." The specter wavered, its form undulating like smoke in the candlelit gloom. Change requires sacrifice, Mark Reynolds. To alter the course of destiny, you must be willing to shed the layers of your former self. As the room blurred and reshaped, Mark found himself facing a mirror, a reflection of the man he had been, haunted by the shadows of indifference. The mirror seemed to absorb the flickering candlelight, its surface rippling like liquid shadows. The second ghost of Christmas future materialized within the mirror, its eyes filled with an ancient wisdom. To confront the shadows, you must recognize the darkness within. The reflection you see is not your true self, but a manifestation of the choices that led you astray. Mark, a sense of urgency coursing through him, asked, "What must I do to break free from this cycle, to forge a new path?" The mirror shimmered, revealing scenes of potential futures, some bathed in light, others shrouded in darkness. The ghost spoke, its voice resonating within Mark's mind. "Choose Mark Reynolds. The path to redemption lies in the choices you make. Confront the shadows, accept the responsibility, and weave a tapestry of compassion from the threads of your existence." As Mark moved forward, facing the mirror with a newfound determination, the room transformed once again. He stood at the edge of a precipice, overlooking a chasm that seemed to stretch into infinity. A figure, veiled in shadow, emerged from the abyss, an incarnation of the sinister forces that had led him astray. The third ghost of Christmas future, its form a blend of malevolence and cosmic energy, whispered, "To forge a new destiny, you must make a pact with the shadows. Embrace the darkness within, but let it be a catalyst for change. The shadows will guide, but beware the seduction of malevolent whispers." Mark, a chill running down his spine, hesitated before making a solemn vow. "I will confront the shadows, make amends for my sins. But I won't succumb to darkness. I choose the path of redemption." The chasm beneath him resonated with a tumultuous energy as Mark's words echoed through the void. The sinister pact, sealed in the shadows, set in motion a series of events that would test the sincerity of Mark's resolve. As Mark emerged from the secluded room, the shadows clung to him like loyal companions. The air felt charged with an otherworldly energy, and a labyrinth of self-reflection seemed to extend into the very fabric of reality. The ghost of Christmas future, though absent in form, lingered in the echoes of the choices Mark would make. The journey into the heart of darkness had just begun, and Mark faced the daunting task of navigating the interplay between his own shadows and the cosmic forces that sought to guide him. The sinister pact, a double-edged sword, held the power to either propel him toward redemption or plunge him into the abyss from which there might be no return. The fate of worlds unseen rested on the sincerity of Mark's journey through the shadowed realms of self-discovery. As Mark Reynolds delved deeper into the labyrinth of self-discovery, the shadows clung to him like a sentient shroud, whispering secrets and dredging up memories long buried. The spectral energy that pervaded Blackridge intensified, an unseen force guiding Mark through the harrowing terrain of his own psyche. The sinister pact he had forged with the shadows became a treacherous dance between redemption and madness. Mark's surroundings morphed into a surreal dreamscape, a distorted reflection of reality. Buildings contorted into grotesque shapes, and the air hummed with dissonant whispers that seemed to echo his innermost fears. The ghosts of Christmas future, though absent in form, manifested as haunting voices that urged Mark forward into the abyss. In a shadow-laden chamber, Mark encountered the first trial of his descent into madness, a manifestation of his deepest regrets. A ghostly figure, draped in the cloak of sorrow, stood before him. It bore the face of a friend he had betrayed in pursuit of personal gain. "Why, Mark?" the spectre lamented, its voice a mournful echo. "You chose ambition over loyalty. The shadows have a long memory, and the echoes of your betrayal resonate through the corridors of remorse." Mark, his face etched with guilt, responded, "I didn't realize the impact of my choices until it was too late. I'm here to confront my sins and seek redemption." The spectre, a manifestation of Mark's remorse, dissipated like mist in the wind. The chamber shifted, leading him deeper into the labyrinth where the boundaries between reality and the shadowed realms blurred. As Mark traversed the distorted landscape, he encountered the second trial, an ethereal mirror reflecting the fractured aspects of his identity. The mirror shimmered with fragmented images of the past, each piece a puzzle of conflicting emotions and buried secrets. A voice emanated from the mirror, a haunting chorus of his own doubts. "You wear masks, Mark Reynolds, a facade to conceal the shadows within. To embrace redemption, you must shatter the illusions and face the fractured truths of your existence." Mark, a sense of vulnerability gnawing at him, approached the mirror. "I've hidden from myself for too long. It's time to confront the truth, no matter how painful." As the mirror shattered into a kaleidoscope of broken reflections, Mark felt a surge of disorienting emotions. The fragments of his identity swirled around him, coalescing into a distorted version of himself, a specter of internal conflict. The third trial unfolded in a surreal amphitheater, where Mark confronted the distorted specter, a manifestation of his internal strife. The specter spoke with a voice that echoed the cacophony of conflicting emotions within Mark's mind. "You crave redemption, yet you fear the darkness within. The shadows are not your enemies, but mirrors reflecting the complexity of your soul. Embrace the discord and let the echoes guide you toward equilibrium. Mark, torn between the desire for redemption and the fear of his own shadows, questioned, "How do I find balance? How do I navigate the chaos within me?" The specter, its form shifting between light and darkness, responded, "Acceptance is the key, Mark Reynolds. Embrace the shadows as integral parts of your being. Only in acknowledging the discord can you weave harmony from the threads of your existence." As Mark grappled with the third trial, a sense of internal turbulence intensified. The echoes of his past sins reverberated through the distorted amphitheater, challenging him to confront the complexities of his own nature. The descent into madness reached its zenith as Mark faced the culmination of his trials. A surreal confrontation with the embodiment of the sinister pact he had made with the shadows. In a shadowy realm that mirrored the fractured landscape of his psyche, the cosmic forces that guided him manifested as enigmatic entities, their forms shifting between benevolence and malevolence. A voice, a fusion of the ghosts of Christmas future and the shadows that clung to Mark, echoed through the shadowed realm. Your descent into madness is the crucible of transformation. Redemption and madness coalesce in a delicate dance. Will you emerge as a harbinger of change or succumb to the abyss that beckons? Mark, his resolve tested to its limits, faced the cosmic entities with a mixture of determination and trepidation. "I choose redemption. I'll navigate the shadows within and emerge stronger." The cosmic forces, their forms swirling like galaxies in the void, responded with a chorus of approval and warning. The descent into madness is but a prelude, Mark Reynolds. The shadows are both ally and adversary, and the path ahead is fraught with peril. Your journey has just begun. As the surreal realm faded, Mark found himself standing once again in the distorted dreamscape. The echoes of his trials lingered in the air, and the shadows, though still clinging to him, seemed to pulse with a newfound vitality. The descent into madness had tested Mark's mettle, and the choice between redemption and the alluring whispers of the abyss hung in the balance. The true nature of the shadows within him remained an enigma, a cosmic puzzle waiting to be unraveled in the pursuit of redemption. Mark Reynolds, having navigated the labyrinth of self-discovery and confronted the shadows within, stood on the precipice of a deeper, more perilous realm, the abyss. The cosmic forces that guided him, both benevolent and malevolent, led him to the threshold of an otherworldly chasm that seemed to stretch into infinity. The echoes of his choices resonated in the air, and the shadows clung to him like loyal companions as he faced the next chapter of his transformative journey. The ghosts of Christmas future, their ethereal forms a spectral presence in the cosmic expanse, spoke with voices that echoed through the void. The abyss is the crucible of truth, Mark Reynolds. It mirrors the depths of your soul and challenges the very fabric of your existence. Mark, a mix of determination and trepidation in his gaze, questioned, "What lies within the abyss? Is it the key to redemption, or a trap leading to eternal darkness?" The cosmic forces, their forms shifting like celestial bodies, responded with an enigmatic resonance. The abyss is both mirror and gateway. It reflects the shadows within, but it also holds the potential for rebirth. Enter with a steadfast heart, and the echoes of your redemption will guide you. As Mark approached the edge of the cosmic chasm, the air rippled with an otherworldly energy. The echoes of his footsteps reverberated in the emptiness, and the shadows, now an inseparable part of him, seemed to pulse with an eerie luminosity. The abyss unfolded before Mark, a surreal blend of cosmic energies and ethereal mists. A bridge suspended between dimensions beckoned him to traverse the expanse between the known and the unknown. As he stepped onto the bridge, the cosmic forces whispered cryptic assurances, their voices a symphony of cosmic wisdom. The first trial within the abyss manifested as a series of shimmering portals, each leading to pivotal moments in Mark's life. He witnessed the consequences of his choices, both the moments of darkness that cast long shadows and the fleeting instances of compassion that seemed to ripple through time. In one portal, Mark observed a scene of environmental degradation, the consequence of his past actions contributing to the world's decline. The haunting cries of a world in pain echoed through the abyss. Mark, face etched with regret, pleaded, "Can I undo the harm I've caused? Can redemption heal the wounds I inflicted on the world?" The cosmic forces responded, "Redemption is a balm, Mark Reynolds, but it cannot erase the scars of the past. Your choices now will shape the world's future. Choose wisely, for the echoes of your actions resonate through the corridors of time." As Mark moved through the portals, he encountered moments of profound connection and empathy. In a poignant scene, he witnessed a small act of kindness that, like a ripple in a pond, spread far beyond its origin. The cosmic forces whispered, "Compassion echoes through the tapestry of existence." The threads of empathy woven into the fabric of reality endure across the ages. The second trial within the abyss manifested as a surreal dreamscape, a realm where Mark's deepest fears and desires materialized as ephemeral illusions. A specter of his past self, haunted by shadows, confronted him with a piercing gaze. "Why do you seek redemption?" The specter questioned, its voice a distorted echo. "Is it genuine remorse or a desperate attempt to escape the consequences of your actions?" Mark, facing the spectral manifestation, responded with a sense of urgency. "I seek redemption not to escape, but to confront the shadows within and forge a new path. I want to be a catalyst for change, not just for myself, but for the world I've harmed." The cosmic forces, their forms shimmering in approval, guided Mark through the dreamscape, where illusions of his past and future danced in a surreal ballet. Each step was a confrontation with the complexity of his own nature, a test of sincerity in the pursuit of redemption. The third trial within the abyss unfolded as a cosmic storm, a tempest of conflicting energies that mirrored the tumult within Mark's soul. Shadows and light clashed in a celestial dance, and Mark found himself at the center of the cosmic maelstrom. A voice, a fusion of the ghosts of Christmas future and the cosmic forces, resonated through the storm. "The abyss stares back, Mark Reynolds. Confront the chaos within. Embrace the shadows as part of your cosmic symphony. The choice between redemption and the abyss is yours to make." Mark, with a steely resolve, faced the cosmic storm. "I choose redemption," he declared, his voice cutting through the celestial tumult. "I will navigate the shadows within and emerge stronger, not just for myself, but for the world I hope to save." As Mark's declaration echoed through the abyss, the cosmic storm began to subside. The bridge between dimensions shivered, and the cosmic forces, now luminous with approval, guided him toward the realm beyond. The echoes of his transformative journey lingered in the cosmic expanse as Mark stepped into the unknown, a realm where the shadows, once adversaries, now danced in harmony with the cosmic energies that shaped the fabric of existence. The true nature of redemption, like a cosmic secret, awaited Mark in the cosmic tapestry of the abyss.